One of the questions I get asked often is how do I grow my business? How do I scale it when I don't have the funds to do it? And it makes me think that every business is really in four stages at any time. They're in survival, stability, success, or significance, right? We're trying to go through every one of those stages. And we all start, for most people, we start in survival, especially if we didn't get funds to start our business, right? We just didn't get a handout or a loan or whatever. We're just bootstrapping it right from the beginning. Most of us start in survival. The problem with that is that we sometimes make short-term decisions. My name's Chaz Wilson. I'm the founder of Master Networks, Blue 42 Marketing, and Wilson Leadership Coaching. I know so many people who struggle when they're in survival mode of their business. The problem is they'll make short-term decisions, right? They're not looking at that long-term goal. And it takes me back to about 10 years ago or so when I started Master Networks. I was in a place where I didn't have any money. I mean, I'd just come out of a real estate market that had crashed. And I went from making a lot of money and having a lot of money in real estate to like literally it disappearing pretty quickly overnight, it felt like, to having 5 children. Our last 2 were twins, and trying to grow this business. And I'm just clearly in survival mode, like many people are, especially right now with pandemics and inflation and supply chain challenges. What do you do? And how do you make decisions when you're in that, where you're like, Chaz, I just don't have the money to like expand or hire people, but I need to. And I think sometimes we focus on the wrong things. So let me take you back to that 10-year mark where I was in a meeting. I had reached out to somebody who, first of all, had helped multiple brands grow their company. And I asked him for an opportunity to chat and help me understand what I could do to grow my business. He came and met with us. And when I say didn't have any money, I just want to paint a picture for you, because if you're in this phase, you'll totally relate to this when you start a business. I mean, we had a 600 square foot office, very, very small, couldn't afford blinds on the windows. The sun was beating through. We were literally moving the seats down the room. The sun was chasing us. We were trying to outpace the sun as it beat through the window. Kind of an embarrassing thing to have somebody who's built all these big brands and who's visiting my office, and I can't even afford blinds to like block the sun. In the middle of that meeting, my cell phone buzzes and I look down at my wife. She called me again really quickly, and then I asked this gentleman if I could excuse myself and step outside. Called my wife and she said, hey, I'm at the grocery store, and she's got 3 kids in the cart. So I stepped outside. I took this phone call from my wife. She's like, hey, the card's not working. We can't afford the stuff she's buying. The card's not working. And inside this office is this gentleman who's talking to me about how he can help me grow this company I just started, right? But I'm not even focused on that. I'm in survival mode. I'll never forget that image of it showing $27 in my bank account. And so I called her back and I said, we have $27. You're gonna have to get whatever you can that you need for today, and I'll figure out for tomorrow. And isn't that how it is? When you're in survival, you're not thinking about tomorrow or a week or a year from now. You're thinking about what's going on right now and how do I make it through the day and then maybe tomorrow. If you're not committed to that long-term vision of your business, then the survival instincts kick in and you'll make decisions that could impact that future long-term growth. Now, you're always going to want to do what you have to survive, for sure. But as you do, the key I would share with you and what I tell everyone is you'll get through those hard times. They're temporary. So don't make decisions today that are temporary that will have long-lasting impact on your business. There's 2 things. Immediately focus on revenue producing activities. So often when we're in that survival mode, we want to just, hey, let's plan a new logo. Let's look at our website. Like the very first thing you need to be doing is knocking on a door, picking up a phone, or getting in front of somebody and pitching your product or service to them to create revenue. Like, get creative, get in front of people and talk to people right now. By the way, that's what we did. We immediately got on the phone, started talking to people, and this mentor that we were in front of that I was talking with, he actually became the connection to get in front of people that we could talk to produce revenue. Your network will support you through those times of survival and into stability and into success. But in those survival modes, it's your network, it's the people you've connected with, it's those people that will support you and help you. And you can pick up a phone and say, hey, I'm looking for somebody to share my product with or my service with. Who do you know? I can't tell you the number of days that we did that, man. The number of days we would pick up the phone and just say, who do you know? I mean, that phrase right there, who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know that I should know? Who do you know that I could talk to? Who do you know that I should be in front of? Was a phrase we used all the time. That phrase helped us build and expand a network. We built a multi-million-dollar business, thousands of members across the country. We didn't run Facebook ads. We didn't do a bunch of advertising. In fact, we've nearly done none. $0 over the years in outward advertising. It's been almost all word of mouth and through our network by asking a simple question, who do you know? 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 So my response to the question of what do I do when I just don't have the money to scale? Maybe you're in that survival mode. You need to make decisions. make phone calls, get in front of people to get revenue, and then build your network. Now, if you're stable and you're like, look, we got some money coming in and we need to level up and we need to scale up, how do I do that? I don't have a ton of money. I don't probably even have much. I'm just barely paying the bills. I'm getting a little bit. How do I then scale up? The key to that is not what to do. Again, the answer is who. Who do I need to be in contact with? Who's already figured it out? Who's already gone down that path? Who is where I want to be or knows how to get me there? That is the type of person you want to reach out to. Those two concepts will take you from survival and stable, will move you up the ladder. Too often I see people though that want to jump, they want to like leapfrog. I want to go from survival to success. Maybe there's a story or two you could probably think of somebody who went from survival to significance, but 99.9% of us have to go from survival to stable, stable to success, success to significance. That's the path. But as you look at these 4 steps, what happens with most people and where like the depression of business comes in is like I'm in, say, stability, but I know I can be in success. I'm not in that mode yet. I'm not at that phase yet. And it's that gap in between. I think Ed Mylett calls it and says it best. He calls it blissful dissatisfaction, meaning I'm satisfied where I'm at, or I'm happy with what I have, but I'm not satisfied yet with where I'm at. I know I can do more. And the reality is that if you are not fixated and totally committed to that goal of significance and success, then your will is for sale. And when your will is for sale and you're in survival mode, you will make short-term decisions that do not set you on the path to go up that ladder, if you will. And that's a question I get a lot. Make sure that you're making long-term decisions and you're committed to your goal. If you do, and if you are, then you'll make the right steps and you'll surround yourself with the right people to help you get to your goal.